Good morning, children. This is the lecture for class 8, and today we are going to start the new chapter, Diseases and the First Aid. So, in this, children, we are going to discuss what are the diseases, which type of diseases which affects us, and then we are going to study which type of first aid will be provided to the different type of diseases. So, as you can see, health. What is a health? A health is normally a person is said to be healthy when he or she is not suffering from any disease. So when a person can work hard, interact well with the people, enjoy leisure and can adapt to the changes and stress of life, then he or she is in a good health. So, what we can say, health is defined as a state of a complete physical, mental, and social well being. So, it means when the person is mentally, socially, and uh, physically well, then only the person can be called as a healthy person. Now, physical health, mental health, they all are interrelated. So, the person should not suffer from any type of disease. Means if the person is in the stress, mentally he is not okay, so it means the person is not well. If the person surroundings, the people who surrounds him, the people who is living around him, the person is not having good contact with those person, so it means the person is not socially happy. So in that case the person is not healthy. So health, it should consider three factors, that is physical, mental and social things. So if the person is not well, maybe the person is affected by some diseases. So what is a disease? So you can see in the in this, that what is disease? It is a departure from a normal health through a structural and function disorder of the body. So a disease is a departure from normal health. Normal health will be destroyed and structurally and functionally disorders in the body comes. So that is why the person is suffering from diseases, we can say. So now which type of diseases the person suffers? So you can see in this page the diseases, there are two type of diseases. First is the communicable and second one is the non-communicable disease. This is the communicable and this is the non-communicable disease. So we have already studied in our previous classes also. The communicable diseases are also called infectious disease. Communicable diseases are also called infectious diseases. So these infectious diseases, these diseases spread from one person to infected person to a healthy person. So when they are passing from an infected person to a healthy person, these are caused due to some germs. So when the diseases are caused due to some germs, so which germs? What we call those germs? So those germs which are causing the disease, passing the disease from one person to another, these are called pathogens. So when the pathogens, they reach to the healthy person, means the germs, they reach to the healthy person through certain agencies like insect bite, like contaminated water and food. So he or she is infected with the disease. So some of the communicable diseases are like cholera, viral fever, chickenpox, malaria, typhoid. These are some of the example of communicable diseases. Now coming to the non-communicable diseases, they are also called non-infectious diseases. These diseases are not caused by any germs. So these diseases cannot spread from an infected person to a healthy person. So they may cause due to improper functioning of the body organ. So like diabetes, heart attack, etc. So first in detail we are going to take the communicable disease or the infectious diseases. So these diseases, as I have told you, these are the diseases that are spread from an infected person to a healthy person through microorganisms or through pathogens, are called communicable diseases. So these diseases are caused due to pathogens, and how these diseases spread. So you can see in this picture also, the diseases, they spread through direct contact or through indirect contact. So direct contact, like someone is suffering from measles or chickenpox or fungal infections, if any other person, if any healthy person comes in contact with the infected person, they pass the disease. So that is why it is called direct method of passing the diseases. Now second method is the indirect method. So indirect method, it is when the person is not directly coming in contact with that person, the person is simply touching or sharing the item used by the infected person, or if the person is using the contaminated food and water for drinking and eating, or some vectors like mosquitoes, flies, worms, they spread the infection. Like how the mosquitoes spread the infection, suppose any person is suffering from malaria, that mosquito comes and bite the person who is infected by malaria. So mainly it is done by a female mosquito, that is called Anopheles. So when the mosquito has bitten the person who is suffering from malaria, then the same mosquito goes and it bites the another healthy person. So in that case, it is a vector who is helping in passing the disease from one person to another, not by direct contact, indirectly from one person to another. So first is touching, direct method, indirect method. So in direct method is directly when the disease are passing, and indirect method is by touching or sharing the item, by contaminated food and water, or by vector. So these are the method how the diseases are spread. Now in this picture also you can see that there is a droplet infection. So what is the droplet infection? So droplet infection, suppose any person is having cough, or the person is sneezing. So when the person is having cough, person is sneezing, so when the person sneeze, the droplets comes out through the sneeze, out from the mouth, out from the nose, and another person who is standing in front of that person may get directly those droplets, or those droplets, they are suspended in the air for some time. If any healthy person inhaled the same air containing the suspended droplet, then may the person will get the disease. So drops which are coming out from the mouth of an infected person and then they are passing to other person, these are called droplet infection. So the diseases like tuberculosis, common cold, measles, diphtheria, they spread in this way. So some more communicable diseases like influenza, like measles and AIDS, they are also the communicable diseases which are passing from one person to another. So how these diseases are spreading? So these just like influenza. Influenza, it is a simple disease, common disease in which the person suffers from cold, fever and feels chill. Measles is a disease which is highly affects the respiratory system. So the small children, they have the nasal discharge, they have the redness of eye, continuously coughing, fever and eruption of red papules. Papules means in their bodies small type of spots they arise. And next is the AIDS. So AIDS, the definition is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So it is also called due to HIV. So in this, the person immune system get weakened. In this, the person immunity get weakened. The body, our body has the mechanism of self-defense in which we defend our body. So if the person is not able to fight with the infections, so so that why it happens, all of us have the immunity power, all of us have the power that some of the diseases with our immunity only we can find, and we can find the solution, we can easily recover from those diseases. But if the person is suffering from AIDS, the person is not able to fight with any of the disease because the internal self defense mechanism destroys. And how it passes? It passes through the infected equipments if any person is having AIDS and he has used any needle, so that needle is used by any other person, so through that contact the disease is passed from one person to another, or it may pass through the sexual contact, through blood transfusion, or through infected syringes or infected needles. So these diseases mainly there is a chance during the pregnancy, or maybe any person, those who are taking injections directly from anywhere and they are not changing the needles, so this type of disease may the person can have. Now the diseases which are caused due to vector, like malaria, as I have told you, the mosquitoes, they come and bite the person, and then they take the germs from that person and they pass to the healthy person. So mainly the name is Anopheles mosquito, which is responsible for passing those diseases. And mainly the symptom of malaria is the person is getting chills means he is feeling very cold, and the high fever the person will get. So the prevention of malaria can be done by the protection against mosquito bite and taking the malarial drugs. Now next is the dengue. Now dengue is also a mosquito borne disease, and the mosquito which is responsible for causing dengue is Aedes aegypti. So in this dengue fever, the person get high fever, headache, muscles, joint pain and characteristic skin rashes on the body. So if the person get any hurt during that time, the bleeding doesn't stops. So we should use the mosquito repellent so that the mosquito should not come and bite us, and we should not allow the water to stagnate anywhere, the water to collect anywhere, because if the water get collected anywhere, maybe the mosquitoes, they will start breeding. And the main thing is that dengue mosquito, they develop in a clean water, they don't develop in a dirty water. So if the water is collecting, clean water is collecting for more than 1 week at one place, so it should not be stagnate at one place. So this is about dengue. This is also a communicable disease. Now chikungunya, it is also a mosquito borne disease, and it is also caused due to the bite of Aedes mosquito. So its symptoms also occurs in 2 to 12 days, and it also includes the high fever, joint pain and headache. So most of the people, they become weak during that time. So we should also control the mosquitoes. They should not spread at one place during that time. So these are the simply the communicable diseases. So in this now till that we have discussed about the communicable diseases. Now the next thing occurs that we are going to discuss now is the preventive measure of disease. So you can see here, first is the public hygiene. So what is a public hygiene? Public hygiene is important as a personal hygiene, means the things around us that should be clean. So first thing is that sewage and chemical waste should be released into the water bodies, and sewage should be chemically treated first before being released into the water body to avoid waterborne diseases. Sewage means the dirty material that comes out from the factories, houses, so it should be released in a proper water bodies. There should be a proper sewage line connecting to the sewage treatment plant. So that is why all of us have the pipelines in our houses, so that whenever we pass the material from one place to another, it goes through a pipeline. Another thing is that healthy environment is also an important thing which prevents the spreading of diseases. Breeding of mosquitoes should be avoided. Garbage should be thrown at a proper place. The water should not be allowed to stagnate, means collected at one place. So drinking water, dirty water also create a lot of problems, so it should be avoided. So next we are going to discuss in the next video. Thank you, children.